Okay, so day number 9. I think day number 9. Let's just play this in the background. So went for a Wave 15 Simulacrum instead of the map showcase. This is just a pre-recording. I don't really like pre-recording stuff because obviously it can be sort of gimped. Can just be like showing you the best bit, right? But I thought I would do this just to save myself running the 14 waves again, just like and doing it live. So this is what we've got for a showcase. You can see here tankiness absolutely fine. Bosses. So the reason why the boss DPS looks a bit funny there, and I wasn't hitting them, is because I just couldn't see where they were. Because the visual clarity in these simulacrums is so bad. But you can see when we actually jumped on the Croesus boss damage about where I think it is, which is roughly about 90 mil. And then, yeah, there was the loot from the Wave 15 Simulacrum. Not excellent, but there we go. Okay, so changes since yesterday. They're honestly quite slim on the ground, unfortunately. Big one, big milestone is we hit level 100. We were about the 50th jug to do it this league, which is quite cool. It's kind of meaningless because of 5-way boosting, but still, we know we done it quote unquote legit. It doesn't matter to me how you level. If you choose to 5-way boost, go for it. But I done this in maps, so that's kind of cool. I forgot to mention yesterday about the cluster swap. So we dropped some points in, I think here, Cannibalistic Right and the Mana Mastery. And I can't remember where else we trimmed them from. I think I trimmed them from Life, which was like here and here. And we went into another cluster. Just way more point efficient to do this. In here we put a Emperor's Mastery, which we picked up for 22 Divan. And then we just slotted one of our old rare jewels in the second one. Now, I was thinking about putting an Emperor's Might in this, but I'll go over in a second why I haven't. Yeah, so that is actually the only change. So I pre-prepared, I think, 200 maps, which were here. Basically ran all of them. I've refilled these with maps that fill my regex. I don't really like dying, so I do a regex even though I'm 100. And with Jug. But yeah, uh, ran all of these maps, and I had no real reason to upgrade the build, right? Like I wasn't dying, I wasn't needing damage. The damage was just one shot and everything in the map essentially, and yeah, had no real reason to upgrade the build. That's why the build is, as you can see, exactly the same as yesterday, other than the clusters that we outlined. Even though we've done quite a lot of playing over the weekend. So the reason why I didn't just go and chuck this 122 divines that we've got into upgrades, like just before the vid, just to show something, is because kind of at a crossroads, to be honest with you. Um, I could carry on farming currency and pumping it into this build and just min-max it and go a lot further, but it's already doing all like reasonable content fairly easily, and like Nimbus would be, I think Nimbus are approximately 130 divine. I'll just quickly show that because they have been fluctuating through the day. They did hit 150 earlier, but sort of looking at 135 right now, say, like once this one's gone. So Nimbus are at like 130. Original Sin is a mirror, as you would expect. And it's just like, I'm not like a uber pinnacle boss runner. I'm not like a Giga Juice tier 17 map blaster, so is there much point in going towards these rather than doing something else? I kind of don't feel that way at a minute, but that's one option, right? That's one option, is we could just carry on playing this build. On the other hand, there's other options, such as playing another character. I do like being a one character Andy. I like seeing the character quite well, put together. But we do have some time left over now in the league, if this character is sort of being put on the backbench. Um, and I actually usually like playing very off-meta stuff. So if you can hear these clicks in the background, this is just RuneLite going crazy, by the way. I'm playing old school RuneScape on the side, and it's just making these weird, weird noises because I've gone idle. But I'll just leave that for now. Um, yeah, I usually like playing very off-meta stuff, so perhaps could either look at what people are doing on ladder, or even just take a look at like Foulborn uniques. I've actually been saving these and putting them in my unique tab. You can see here I've just been saving all of these Foulborn uniques, and we could just look for something to do with these. One in particular I actually really like is Calming Stratagem. It's actually one of my favorite unique items, so maybe we can do something around this. Yeah, and we could just keep this build together and farm currency when we need it with this, and then just play something kind of cool, unique, perhaps league specific on the side while we're doing that. So I think it's going to be an extremely short one today because there's not really a lot to show other than like the big milestone of hitting 100, and you can just see the currency stacking up. I think I'm just going to think about it over the next couple of days what I'm actually going to be doing. I tend to not play a lot on Monday, Tuesdays anyway, because I have other stuff to do. I think I've outlined before. But yeah, I think I'm just going to think about it at least for a day. There might be another vid out tomorrow, depending if I've decided by then. If not, probably Tuesday will be outlining, like future plans for this league, and then post league. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys whenever I decide what's next.